What's going on, guys? Welcome to Yakety Mac, and it is the 10th and final tournament of the 2024 season. My last chance to get my first victory, but my confidence is riding high. I'll tell you a couple of reasons why. One, the lake that we're going to tomorrow is essentially my home lake. I know it like the back of my hand. So will that give me an advantage? I don't know, maybe just a little bit, maybe. And then the other thing is I've learned yet another new bait. Check this out. I went out the other day practicing, learning how to fish with a jig, and this happened, man. This is absolutely awesome. It's another thing that I have in my toolbox that I did not have before. So I am as prepared as I ever have been. And as a childhood icon of mine once said, the will to win means nothing without the will to prepare to win. So I am prepared, guys. Let's see if I can make it happen. I will see you back here in the morning. Good morning, guys. So the intro that you just watched was filmed last week on the eve of my season finale tournament at my home lake. Hopefully you got a sense of just how much excitement I had and how much optimism that I had heading into the tournament. And so I've decided to edit this video a little differently than I have in the past, guys. We're gonna just jump straight into the action. So instead of the mundane every hour or 2 hour reports on what I'm doing and what's working, what's not working, we're gonna go in hot, guys. I'm gonna show you the action and then we're gonna talk about it. Let's roll the footage. Okay, well there it is. 8 hours, one fish, one damn fish, and it took me 7 hours to get that fish. So, you know, words can't really express the amount of disappointment that I had. You know, that was my home lake. I really was hoping to do much better than that. It just wasn't to be, and so the 2024 season has come to an end. I'm going to wrap it up for you, just kind of talk about some of the things that I learned in my first year of tournament fishing and what the 24 season brought to me, and then of course what I'm going to do in preparation for the 25 season. So anyway, 2024 we had 10 tournaments. I fished in 8 of those 10. I skunked in 1, and then I submitted fish in the other 7. 3 of those I had a limit, so that was good. There were a lot of firsts for me in 2024. I caught my first fish ever on a toad, my first fish on a chatterbait, and then the fish you saw right there, my first with a jig. And then of course my go-to bait pretty much all season long was the Texas rig worm. That's pretty amazing given the fact that you know, a year ago I didn't even know how to throw Texas rig. And so there were a lot of firsts for me. You know, I did finish 3rd in that one tournament, so that was my highlight of the year as far as my finish goes. But I had a lot of firsts. 6 of the 8 bodies of water that I fished were new to me, so that was some good exposure to some different environments, learning some different techniques. That's kind of what 2024 was really. If I had to summarize it, was a whole lot of new stuff for me. And, you know, but it wasn't enough. And I'm not going to take any moral victories away. I am happy that my arsenal is growing and that I'm learning more. But at the same time, I have a very competitive spirit. And the fact that I was a non-factor weighs on me quite a bit and kind of lights that fire inside my belly for 2025. So we'll talk about 2025 real quick. Down here in the South, we've only got a couple of months of off season. We'll take off November and we'll take off December. And then we're going to jump back into this come the end of January. So I've got just a little over 2 months to kind of prepare myself for a better 2025 season. And there's a couple of ways that I'm going to do that. One is I'm going to continue learning new techniques. I really need to learn how to skip. That's going to come in handy during the hotter months when the fish are hiding themselves up under docks or up in crevices with some shade. So I need to learn how to skip. So I'm going to continue to develop techniques. But where I really think that I have got to spend my time is education. Knowledge is kind of the key to everything, guys. And so there are three things that I'm going to look at from an educational perspective. One is seasonal patterns, seasonal behavior. What do bass typically do based upon the time of year? I've got to learn that and kind of know that and know where to go. I really do think that part of my problem this year was not really knowing where to locate the fish. So I've got to learn seasonal patterns. What do they typically do? The other thing that I've got to learn is I've got to learn tide and how the tide affects fish behavior, whether the tide is moving out, whether the tide is moving in. You know, these tournaments are 8 hours long. So it could be that you start the day with the tide coming in, and it could be that halfway through the day the tide is moving out. I've got to learn tide patterns, and I've got to learn what the fish do in those situations. And then the third thing I'm going to focus my education on is wind patterns. If the wind's coming from the northwest, east, south, how does that affect behavior? What banks should I be throwing at based upon wind direction? Where should I be looking for the fish? So I really think if I'm going to close the gap between myself and the guys who consistently do well in these tournaments, education is going to be the key. If I can learn those three things, I think I can close the gap. I'm not going to say that I will be in their league. I don't have the experience under my belt. But at least I can be more competitive, I believe. And so that's what I'm really going to focus the season on, is trying to improve a couple of techniques, continue to build my arsenal, and educate myself, because knowledge is going to be the key to me being competitive and having a better 2025 season. I had a lot of fun. If you're thinking about tournament fishing, by all means do it. In fact, in addition to my club tournaments in 2025, I'm going to fish a couple of onlines. If Chad Hoover does the Knucklehead series again, I will definitely participate in that. And so doing some online tournaments just to kind of feel that pressure. I'm out here practicing all the time anyway. Might as well take photos of the fish and submit them for some online tournaments, just to up the competitive juices a little bit. And so that's what I've got to look forward to in the next 2.5 months. I'm going to shoot another video while I'm out here today on jig fishing. That's something that about a week and a half ago I did for the very first time, and I could see myself falling in love with the jig big time. And so I'm going to do a review and talk about my experience with jig fishing. I'm going to film a video with that. I'm by no means an expert on it yet, but there's some elements of that I really love. And so I'm going to film that video. If you would, please do me a favor and become a subscriber. 70% of my viewership comes from people who are not subscribed. So if even just a small percentage of you would hit that subscribe button, that sure would mean a lot to me. It's free. It costs you nothing. But if you're not going to subscribe, you're like, yeah, man, you're not my cup of tea. That's cool. I understand. But do me a favor and hit that thumbs up, that like button, At least do that for me. That kind of helps out. Leave me a comment if there's some other educational tips that you believe I should be taking into consideration in this off season. Please let me know down in the comments below. And then share this video if you feel so inclined. Guys, it's been a heck of a season. I'm going to continue making videos, but from a tournament perspective, I don't have anything on the horizon for a 3 months now until the season kicks off again. I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you hanging out. And hey, look, no matter what you've got going on in your lives, always take some time to get outside and play.